collaboration in the ad tech industry, I think, is one of the only ways to root out some of the bad actors within this industry. More so than other industries, ad tech is largely self-regulated. So there's only been a couple of cases where some of these bad guys have been tried and paid the price for committing online ad fraud. So the more we can collaborate together, share knowledge, share lists, talk with one another to root out these bad actors at their source, we're going to protect both publisher partners or media owners from being victims of these bad actors, but also make sure marketers are maximizing their return on investment, getting away from this whack-a-mole model where these bad actors pop up one platform, run ad fraud, get booted off, so on and so forth, until they're eventually rooted out from the ecosystem or rebrand and do it all over again. So the more we can work together, the better in sharing knowledge and making sure everybody's aligned and not paying or making it an attractive medium for fraudsters.
Now, for viewers who may not be familiar with Magnite, could you just tell us a little bit about what Magnite does, and then also discuss about what kinds of steps you take to prevent ad fraud, like what some of the key challenges you see, not just Magnite, but the whole industry facing?
Yeah, within Magnite, we have an internal team that's just dedicated on marketplace quality. We work with verification vendors. There's several of them. We always work on, we have policies, rules in place that help protect the marketplace or any transactions that happen within Magnite platforms. Some of the challenges, particularly within CTV, I always have to remind myself that we're relatively new. It's a relatively new format to transact programmatically. It's really been booming in the last 5 years or so. But in that time period, we've really made some strides to instill trust and make it a more transparent marketplace for marketers. A lot of those initiatives that have went live came out from the IAB Tech Lab. A few of them include standardized or unified app IDs. So this was a problem more early on in CTV, where a marketer might have to gather a list of 100 app IDs to either target or detarget, but they're all ultimately the same app within CTV. So this program allows marketers to understand and have unified app ID per platform per app. So they only have to allow or disallow one app ID. It should be uniform across the board. The next is sellers.json and the OpenRTB supply chain object. This helps marketers understand who is getting paid for a transaction and who is involved in the payment chain of a transaction. It can help in two main ways. One is for marketers' SPO efforts. So if they're looking to go as direct as possible, they can use the supply chain object to do that. The other is to identify any unknown or untrusted actors that are injecting themselves in the payment chain and avoid or detour that spend away from those actors into more well-lit areas. The last is the most recent. Ads.txt was a program that initially was web only, then rolled out to mobile app, and now it's supported in CTV environments. And it addresses some of the fragmentation issues within CTV. So the way I always think about it is there's several actors or partners that are involved or critical in delivering a stream into a user's living room. So there's the TV manufacturer themselves, the device manufacturer if you're plugging something into your TV, there's the app developer, there's the content producer like a cable network or broadcaster, and sometimes there's even a technology partner like an SSAI vendor. All those parties are critical to deliver that stream of ads and content into your living room. So all of them have their own inventory share. And why this is really important to marketers is you can't just buy from one of these channels if you want to maximize your potential audience. You have to buy from each partner that has inventory sharing rights. So ads.txt for CTV addresses this and allows app developers to list all of the partners that have inventory sharing rights, so that can be more well understood. And then from there, understand who is a direct partner versus reseller. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to help media owners make sure these bad actors are not impersonating or spoofing their inventory in programmatic environments. So it should maximize publisher yield or media owner yield.
Yeah, that's interesting. So next I wanted to ask you a bit about what kind of example or what you've seen as far as an ad fraud issue that can be addressed with industry collaboration and collective action. I know in the case of Human recently, they identified an ad fraud scheme where mobile phones were impersonating connected televisions, and they managed to detect it. And I don't know, I just think it's fascinating, these things that keep popping up, but as these schemes keep getting invented.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ads.text for CTV is a great example of that. I think a lot of those actors that were involved in that in particular would not be authorized per ads.text if that program was well adopted at that point in time. Some of the other challenges that I don't know if they're all ad fraud challenges, but just challenges that of late that I think we could use some industry collaboration on are things like made for advertising. So maybe not CTV specifically, but what just a uniform definition of what is made for advertising, what is considered good versus bad if there is any, so everybody's on a level playing field there, and that's more understood. Things like misdeclared information in bid requests. So there's fields in the OpenRTB spec that can be interpreted differently depending on who you are. So things like placement type, the same exact ad unit could be repped in one place as in-stream versus outstream. So unless there's some uniformity there, sometimes marketers can't price or bid accordingly. And then one that's more CTV specific is viewability in CTV. So CTV inherently is 100% viewable as long as it's a valid human impression. So one thing that we're continuing to work on within the industry, though, is just to make sure all those critical partners involved in delivering a CTV ad stream, that all of them have processes in place to understand when the user has either got up and went to the grocery store but let their TV on or turn their TV off. So that's one thing that we're working on currently with media owners to address or to ensure that they understand when the user is no longer in the room so they can stop the ad stream. I think in large, most media owners already have processes in place. You could probably see it as a consumer of CTV. You get up or you don't touch your remote for 20 minutes. They ask if you're still there. If you're not, they cut the stream. If you're buying directly from a TV manufacturer, they're inherently power aware, can stop the stream from there. But it's still something that we're working through within the industry.
Now, finally, Nick, I was just kind of curious to hear what you think about the outlook. If there's anything that you expect to see happen, let's say in the next 6 to 12 months, or perhaps if there's anything on your wish list, something you'd like to see happen. Is there anything that keeps you up at night or anything you're worried about? So what do you see ahead?
Yeah, I think we still continue to see more ad dollars shifting away from traditional linear into programmatic systems. So then, it's really a great medium for marketers. Instead of more of like a spray and pray type of model, you can actually target the exact users where you want, when you want them, and only pay for those impressions. So I think we continue to see that shifting of linear dollars to programmatic. And then maybe even some of those linear connections becoming more IP enabled and being able to deliver ads programmatically even in more traditional linear environments.